In this video, I will explore Azure Managed Identities. Uh, Azure Managed Identity is in Azure is a feature or services that provide managed identities for the application and resources. If we want to grant a permission to resources in Azure to access another resources, we can use Azure Managed Identities. For example, if we have a virtual machine and we want this virtual machine to access Azure data storage, then we can create a managed identities. Or if we want any other resources like Azure Data Factory, like Logic App to to manage the data in the Azure storage account, we can create managed identities. When we create a managed identities for any resources like a VM, like a Azure Data Factory, we don't need any username, password, or any other secret. Just we can create managed identities and assign a role for that. Types of managed identities. We have two types of managed identities: system assigned managed identities and user assigned managed identities. For the system assigned managed identities, it is directly connected to the resources. If we select this option, a managed identity is created and it is linked to that resources, and this will remain active until the resources exist or available. Meaning, when we create a system assigned identity, an identity is created, it's attached to the system, and it will remain function until the system is available in the Azure. When we delete the resources, the identity is automatically deleted. On the other hand, user assigned managed identity, it's created by the user. It can be assigned to one or more resources. For the system assigned managed identity, it's tied only to one resources. It's connected to a single resources. If we have a virtual machine, we can create a use system assigned managed identities for that VM. We cannot use it with any other resources. But for the user assigned managed identities, we can create managed identities and link it to many resources. We can use a user assigned managed identities with the VM, with the a Logic App, with the Azure Data Factory, or with any other resources. When a resource is deleted, like if we have a VM and we assign a user assigned managed identity, we delete the VM, the user assigned managed entity doesn't affect. It exists until we delete that identity. Now let's jump to the portal and do the practical. Okay, here I have here I have a storage account and Azure Data Factory. Let's jump to Azure Data Factory. Here at the at the left side, here we have manage identities. At the manage identities, by default, system assigned managed identity is turned on. It means an identity is automatically attached to these resources. If you want to connect to a storage account with the help of this object ID or principal ID, we can connect it. Okay, let me duplicate. I want this. Okay, by default, it's we can turn it off, click save, or we can turn it on. Since it's already turned on, let's go to the storage account. Now I go to my storage account and assign a role for this. This is the storage account, and assign role for that managed identity. To assign role, we go to access control. Access control, we click on add role assignment. Here we have different roles. Okay, let me type blob we can assign different roles. Here we have different roles. I want to assign for this system assign manage identity the storage blob data contributor role. Select this, click next. Here assign access to, we want to assign the user group or any other service principal. No, we want to assign it to manage identities. Click manage identities, select member. Now here we select the subscription, which is automatically selected. Manage identities, we can assign the manage identities. Here by default data factory is automatically selected. When we select this, the name of our Azure data factory is a pop up, and we can select it. Click select. You can add some description, and then next, and review and assign. Okay, we have created this system managed identity is automatically created. We came to the storage account access control. We add a role for that. Here at the end of the page we can find Contoso data factory. We assign a manage identity role, which is storage blob data contributor. Now if we want to connect to this storage account through this data factory, we can do so, since we already have the manage identities. At the overview, we can connect to Azure data factory. Click on connect, select your username. If you have requested for the password, you can type the password. Since I'm already authenticated, no need for the password. Here at the manage section, click on the manage section, link devices. On the link devices, you can link any devices. I want to link this Azure data factory with the storage account. On the data store, click, we type blob Azure blob storage. Select this, continue. Type a name, you can type any name. Azure blob storage 1 is fine for me. The most important thing is the authentication type. Here we have different types of authentication: system assigned manage identity, user assigned manage identity. Now we want to assign system. Select system assign manage identities. When you select this, select your subscription, select the storage accounts. When you select this, all the options, here you can create. Before creating, let's test the connection. Okay, the connection successful, meaning we successfully create the connection. Click create, and the link is established. This was the way that we can assign manage identities through system assign manage identities. Let's the next option is the next option at the manage identity. Here we have user assign manage identities. Before do that, let's delete this identity that we have, the link that we have created. I don't have any link here. Okay, now I want to turn off the system assign. I'm at the data factory system under manage identities. I want to turn off the system assign manage identities. Turn it off, save, yes. This is system assign manage identity is turned off. Now I want to assign you. I want to create a user assign manage identities. Before this, I need to create a manage identities. Type in the search box managed identities. Here we have manage identities. Click create, select the resource group, type the name, okay. I gave you Contaso user assign manage identities. Select the region. When you click next, and okay, we wait for the validation to be passed. and click create. Okay, a managed identity, user assigned managed identity is created, waiting for the deployment. Okay, it's completed. Okay, you can go to the resources. Okay, now we want to assign this user assigned managed identities to the Azure Data Factory. Again, select Azure Data Factory under manage identities. Here at the user assigned tab, click on add. Here select the subscription, click the name of the user assigned managed identities that we have created, select it and add. Managed identity, user assigned managed identity is added here, and now we need to assign a role for this user assigned managed identities. To do that, we go back to the storage account, access control, click add role assignment. We need to add the same role that we have added for system assigned managed identities, a storage blob data contributor. Next, here we need assign access to manage identities. Select manage identities, the member, click on the member. Here manage identities, you can select system assign manage identities, and we select the manage identities that we have created. Select, you can give any additional information if you want. Next, and review and assign. Okay, a role is created. If you click here, come under here, we have manage identities. Okay, this is our user assigned manage identities. Now let's go to the Azure Data Factory. Under linked devices, click new. Again, the same thing, we select Azure Blob Storage, continue. This time, instead of and authentication type, instead of system assigned managed identities, now we select user assigned managed identities. When you select it, click this, select the subscription, select the storage account. Under the credential, we need to create a credential. Click on new. Here you can give a name, and the type is a user assigned managed identity is selected. You can select the subscription, and here we can select the identity that we have created and click create. Okay, once you have selected the identity, then test connection. The connection failed. Maybe we can wait for a few seconds. Once the connection established. Okay, let's do it once again. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to for the rules to be affected. Let's go back, click on new, blob storage, authentication type, user assigned managed identities, subscription, storage account, and the credential we have created earlier, test connection. Okay, let me refresh the whole page once again. Let me refresh here too. Okay, once again, click on create, blob storage, continue, select the authentication type, select the subscription, the storage account, and click on new. Here, subscription and Contasa, create, test connection. the connection succeeded, create. Now we were able to create to establish a connection between Azure Data Factory and the storage account. This was the way that we can create a system assign manage identities and the user assign manage identities. If we come to the store to our portal manage identities, we have only one manage identity. Select that. Here, if we come to the Azure role assignments, it shows that what role this identity has. It has one role: Azure Blob Data Contributor. Associated resources, it shows that what resources are connected with this identity. This was creating managed identities.